Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is in Jamaica on a 5-day official visit. Dr. Rowley and his team arrived on Sunday. It's expected that the Trinidad leader and his Jamaican counterpart, Andrew Holness, will discuss long-standing issues including immigration and trade. Candice Ming covered his arrival on Sunday.
The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, and his wife are in Jamaica on an official state visit, which is hoped will quell brewing tensions between both countries. A protracted immigration issue, as well as an enormous trade imbalance between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, has even threatened Jamaica's continued existence in CARICOM. The couple was greeted at the Norman Manley International Airport on Sunday by Prime Minister of Jamaica Andrew Holness, his wife Juliet, along with a delegation including Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith and Mayor of Kingston Angela Brown-Burke. Among the delegation accompanying Dr. and Mrs. Rowley are Foreign Affairs Minister of Trinidad and Tobago Dennis Moses, former COP leader Prakash Ramadar, Minister within the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs Stuart Young, and Secretary General of the Tobago House of Assembly Orville London. Dr. Rowley and his team will be in Jamaica until July 21, 2016, during which time he will hold bilateral talks with the Jamaican cabinet, as well as make courtesy calls on the Prime Minister, Opposition Leader Mrs. Portia Simpson-Miller, and the Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen. He is also slated to meet with the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica and the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, following the call for a ban and the subsequent reduction in the number of imports of goods from Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Rowley will also visit his alma mater, the University of the West Indies, Mona, where he will meet with students from Trinidad and Tobago and address the wider student population. And Mrs. Sharon Rowley also has her own activities planned in conjunction with the wife of Jamaican Prime Minister Juliet Holness. Along with scheduled tours of famous Jamaican landmarks and the Women's Centre, Mrs. Rowley will be addressing female executives on Tuesday.
Meanwhile, the issue of the trade imbalance in immigration and trade was under the microscope on Monday during bilateral talks with the Prime Ministers of Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica. Opening statements from both Prime Ministers alluded to the atmosphere entering the talks.
Prime Minister of Jamaica Andrew Holness and his guest, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago Dr. Keith Rowley, and their delegations sat at the round table on Monday to hash out several issues threatening the relationship of the proverbial giants of CARICOM. Dominating the talks was the issue of Jamaicans repeatedly being denied entry into the Twin Island Republic after landing at the Piarco International Airport and the conditions under which they were detained and deported. Opening the discussion, the Jamaican Prime Minister highlighted the significance and expectations of the discussions.
Our meeting should lead to a clear way forward as we seek to build on the foundation of long-standing ties which have been shaped by our history, shared values, mutual respect, and importantly, our interconnectedness. I anticipate, therefore, that our discussions and interaction over the next few days will be productive and lead to robust initiatives. These should lead to increased cooperation, the promotion of improved trade relations, as well as the sharing of information, experience, and best practices for capacity building in our institutions to better create growth and prosperity in a stable and secure environment.
Mr. Holness says the meeting also provided the platform to discuss regional integration movement.
There are significant statistics over the years, including those showing that almost 13,000 nationals of Trinidad and Tobago traveled to Jamaica in 2015, and over 15,000 Jamaicans traveled to your country in the same year, clearly indicates that our nationals have adopted, accepted the vision of those before us who created the architecture of CARICOM. Notwithstanding the challenges, our people are moving between the islands, intermarrying, investing in and working for each other's enterprises, studying, contributing, and being integral to the growth of their respective host countries, building regional societies for the greater good. Together, we must find ways to ensure that this natural exchange and interconnectedness between our two countries is hassle-free and facilitated by our respective regulatory bureaucracies.
Agreeing that the meeting provides the perfect avenue to address the protracted immigration issue between both nations, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago Dr. Keith Rowley added that his visit is part of his country's efforts to force closer bilateral arrangements from which specific actions will be derived. He noted that the relationship between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago is essential to the very essence of CARICOM. Dr. Rowley noted that the bilateral platform would be used to understand the barriers to greater regional integration, including transportation.
Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, we are the leaders of our region, and that leadership is required to be demonstrated not just to ourselves but to the people that we lead, in such a way that our belief can lead our people into believing that this dream of the Caribbean nation, in practice, if not in...
The bilateral discussions on Monday was the first of several to be held before Dr. Rowley departs the country on Thursday. Candice Ming, CEEN Caribbean News.